Hello and welcome to another edition on the Road to Excellence. I'm Jameer Howerton, joined by Gold Jacket Andre Tippett. And Gold Jacket Tippett, who is the original TIP, that is. Let's not get it twisted. So, Gold Jacket Tippett, we've been on the road here for the past couple of days, and we're actually on our way to Wisner, Nebraska, celebrating the excellence of these young student athletes with the Pro Football Hall of Fame's U.S. Award for Excellence. How's that whole process been for you and just working on this new adventure with the Hall?
Well, for me, it's first of all, I'm honored to be part of this whole presentation program, and two, the fact that we are connected to our U.S. military and what they stand for, and it's just been awesome. And then thirdly, the opportunity to meet these young scholar athletes, and you look at their resume and you see the things that they've accomplished and what they stand for. It's amazing. The young lady that we presented yesterday was very impressive. Not only her academic standard, but her athletic, and the fact that she also has time to give back to her community and her philanthropic outlook on life. So it's amazing what we're raising now, and the kids that are out there that are trying to make a difference. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Miss Jones, she had a
3.9.
Yeah, 3.9. She had a 3.9, and the young lady who we're gonna go see today, Lauren Jacobson,
Is a
she had
4.0?
4.3.
4.3. Wow. Crazy.
I can't even think of that when I was that age.
It's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a gift, and it's awesome when you read and you know that how many applicants you looked at,
right?
And to dwindle it down to just
continue on to US 275 West.
Yes, that's right. We're on the road to excellence, so we have to pay attention to our GPS.
Absolutely. But to dwindle it down to 25 students,
right,
out of say 500, it's amazing that so many wonderful, hardworking young people that are out there today.
We're now, yesterday we were in Iowa, and now today we're in Nebraska, but they're like right neck and neck to each other. You are a University of Iowa grad. Talk about that. What, coming from the tri-state area, New Jersey, and being dropped in Iowa, that had to be culture shock.
It was a culture shock. It really was. The first year, I think I tried to do everything I could to get sent home, or to go back home, or try to get out on I-80 and thumb my way home. And good thing it never transpired, because I would have missed out on a whole lot. And it took me a year to get comfortable with my surroundings. Being out in the Midwest, the people out there are unbelievable, and they still continue to be unbelievable. The standard of living, the quality of life, the ability to kind of really raise your family the way you want it.
Right.
It's amazing. And then anytime I get a chance to come back to Iowa, and this was one of those opportunities, it feels like old home week for me, because
continue on to US 275 West.
I had so much of my success, and what vaulted me on to the next level,
right,
was playing in the state of Iowa. And at the university, it was an amazing opportunity. I was part of
in 16 miles, continue on to US 30 West.
I was part of turning helping turn the program around.
Okay.
Hayden Fry was his first year, was my first year. The program hadn't done anything since 1959, and then all of a sudden Hayden Fry's in, he's recruiting guys, and he's putting in a whole different philosophy and way of doing things, and a way of thinking, way of preparing, the way of playing. And it took us a couple of years, but by my senior year, we were Big Ten champs, and we were Rose Bowl representatives. So, like I said, that's a lot. And for me, that's something that I will always cherish and hold close to my heart, because I was able to follow my passion. I had an opportunity to get a scholarship, and I got an education, and I got to do something that I love doing, playing football. And it was done in the state of Iowa, and it was really cool. And I cherish that moment and opportunity.
Go Jacket Andre Tippett, Jameer Howerton, you spoke yesterday, and your message was about respect. And when you talked to the kids yesterday at Abraham Lincoln High School, you mentioned that when your head coach from high school sent you on your path, there were a few, important things that he told you. If you don't mind sharing.
Absolutely. You know, it's and I use the same thing when I speak to my children now. And you know, I got my last two that are in college now, but Coach reminded me, as he did all of us, that look, you represent a lot of things now that you're going to the University of Iowa. The number one thing that you represent is your family name, the community that you come from, the high school that you played at. So when you go on to University of Iowa, you represent, and you are accountable to a whole lot of other people other than just yourself. And it didn't dawn on me until I got there, and then I started looking around and seeing what was happening and understanding that I was accountable for everything that I did, every move that I made, every decision that I made, because, you know, granted, no one is really looking at you 24 hours. So there are so many opportunities for you to take the wrong step. And it was constantly in the back of my head that family name, community I come from, the high school that I represented.
That's right. And
it was just, those things were, and they grew. And it was something that was constantly on my mind.
When you talk about the steps, and we talk about the steps to excellence, we're approaching the NFL draft. And these young men are about to go through, this is the biggest job opportunity in their lives. Their lives are going to change. Right. Their families' lives are going to change.
Right.
If you could take us back to that time when you were drafted, your mindset, what you were going through then.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a reason why when you hear people talk now about, when you're trying to advise young men that have a big potential to play in the National Football League. Look, don't buy into the hype. Don't believe everything that you read, all the stuff that's being said about you.
Right.
You know, all the feel-good stories that you're going to be reading leading up to the draft. And not that I fell for all of it, but there were a couple of things like, you know, everybody kind of had me between the first and second round draft pick. I thought I was going to be a first round draft pick. I just assumed that, you know, I had done everything I needed to do to get there. And my only disappointment was not being drafted in the first round. But I didn't let that devastate me. I didn't hate on anybody. It was
right.
like, okay, I got drafted in the second round. I got drafted by the New England Patriots. I was thinking that I would have gotten drafted by the Raiders, the Cowboys. I was a huge fan. The Steelers. When I was growing up, those were the three teams that I wanted to play for. And reason be, just like anybody else, those teams were winning at that time, and they had set the precedent for high level of performance, and that's where I wanted to be. Didn't happen. I got drafted by the Patriots, and with all of that happening, the other word that I like to throw out is a process. You have to appreciate and dive into the process. You can't try to go from first base to third base by skipping second base and don't even bother going to home. You gotta take it all in stride. You gotta get ready for this draft. If you're an up-and-coming prospective draftee for the 2018 draft, you have to go through the process of flying in and being interviewed from team to team. Don't look at it as, oh man, I gotta go to another team, and they're gonna ask me the same questions again.
Right.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy that moment, because when it's all said and done, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be that fleeting moment, and you're gonna look back and go, oh man, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I had folks at my place, cameras, and they were all, Andre Tippett's gonna go in the first round, and first round went by. My teammate went in the first round, Ron Hostrom, who got drafted by the Green Bay Packers. He went, and I was like, oh man. And then all the camera guys started leaving, one by one. So here I am, I'm standing in my apartment, and I'm a little devastated.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping my cool. I'm internalizing everything, and I'm like, you know what? The world didn't end.
Right.
I didn't die. Nobody died. So.
But didn't that make you like work even harder?
Made me hungrier.
Right.
Made me hungrier. I think maybe had I been first round draft pick, you never know how I would have taken
right.
it. You never know. No, you never know. But being a second round draft pick was probably just as good as being a first round in some situations and in some places. But it did. It made me hard. It made me work harder. My class with the New England Patriots in 1982, we had 2 first round draft picks before me, and then there was 1 second round pick before me. So I was hungry all over the place.
Right.
Man. So I was trying to eat.
Right.
And what I did, I sought out training camp to compete in training camp, enjoy the competition, watch the veterans, and see what I could learn from those guys and how they work, their preparation for training camp. I mean, back then we had 4 or 5 weeks of training camp.
Wow.
We had 2 days.
weeks.
We had 2 days for forever, and it was like you were in camp like almost 2.5 weeks before you got a night off. So. Not that anyone was complaining, because again, that's all part of the process, and that was all part of the preparation. But it was fun, and I saw a lot of things. I learned a lot of things. I was still green, but I wasn't afraid to work, and I wasn't afraid to get better. A lot of people were afraid to work, and a lot of people were afraid to get better. And I was with a lot of guys that were talented football players that sometimes you look at somebody, man, I wish I had his size, I wish I had his speed.
Right.
But you know what? I wouldn't give anything up for either of those based on my experiences and the way I got it done and the way I figured it out.
University of Iowa, Hall of Fame. New England Patriots, Hall of Fame. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's safe to say, out of those 3, you were not afraid to work, and you put your work in.
It's crazy. It really is. It's the scary thing about it, because it's humbling when you say that, and when you see it on a paper, and you hear people introduce you, and it humbles. Most of us should be humbled when someone says that, and the accolades are being thrown out there.
Right.
And no matter how long I live, and no matter how long I continue to hear, and if I'm involved in being introduced somewhere at a function, it is humbling.
But that's a testimony if you really think about it, because like you said, back then you didn't have the foresight to see that, because you wanted to go number 1.
Yes.
You wanted to be in a first rounder.
Yes.
And the fact that you didn't go in the first round, but you look at the end of your career and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're still working within the National Football League for the New England Patriots as their community affairs director.
Absolutely. It goes back to when you just said what you said about still being in the NFL, still being with the Patriots.
Right.
Family name, community that you come from, places that you represent. Your reputation is something that you should never bargain for. You should never sell yourself short on your reputation, because your reputation, you can't get that back. If you soil it,
right,
you screw it up, people ain't gonna want to mess with you.
Yeah, it's pretty much a done deal.
And you want to be one of those guys, man, that when people talk about you know what? That's a solid guy. No matter what you may hear about innuendos, or somebody's whispering about something that they may have heard from somebody, just nonsense. When it's all said and done, when you can look at a guy and say, that guy is solid, that's a guy that I trusted my family to help take care of my family, or someone that I could trust for my son to speak to mentor, that's the guy that I want talking to my kid. That's the guy I want working in my organization because, one, he understands work ethic, integrity. He's dependable. There's loyalty there.
We're on the road to excellence, and this is what makes this conversation so interesting because we here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame get a chance to see our Gold Jackets in a real comfortable, light environment and learn so much and on how they prepared themselves and the people that prepared them and set them on their road to excellence. Gold Jacket Tippett, as you talk about the word excellence and working for the New England Patriots, I have to ask you, Mr. Robert Kraft and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you guys have been very instrumental in bringing the Hall of Fame together along with CEO President David Baker and taking people to Israel. What has that been like?
That itself has been just a dream come true to be able to, as a group of us, go to Israel and take these guys on their journey and let them discover something that I've already had the opportunity to go a few times and take it all in.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Israel and what they stand for and all of the things that are involved. And then when the owner and then President Baker decide, let's take a group to Israel so they can see and discover Israel and find out what Israel is all about. That has been a lot of fun, and the look on these guys' faces has been priceless because, I'm probably pretty sure out of the 19, 20 guys, 19 out of them are very much brought up in a religious faith.
Right.
And religion is important to them. And for those guys to go to Israel and, Jerusalem, and we go to the Jordan River, and these guys, everybody to a man had an opportunity to get baptized.
Wow. And
to see the look on their faces when they all were being submerged in the water, both the player and their wives, I was so happy for these guys, man,
right.
Because this is something that, this is a bucket list. This is a huge bucket list item for anybody that is anybody that hasn't had a chance to go to Israel and visit, because that's where everything started. And Jerusalem represents all four of the major religions that we all follow.
Right.
And to be there